UNDISPUTED.com. Watt is seriously considering the Browns because they have what he wants, a title-contending roster and plenty of cap space. Shannon, are you surprised?
I think the most important thing is the last thing that Jenny mentioned, skip the cap space.
Yep.
Because I think there are better teams that are probably more situated, that are more suited to probably get him to where he wants to be. But I guess playing alongside Myles Garrett, but would do well. I mean, offensively, they can run the football with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Baker seems to be on the come.
Yep.
Defensively, hey, I can see that skill, but I'm surprised the Browns because historically the Browns haven't been a great free agent destination unless they overpay. You know, they did a great job of drafting Myles Garrett, but normally teams are not just like that. Yeah, free agency, yeah, I want to go to Cleveland. But it just goes to show you what he saw last year, that he believes that this team has a chance to be special. I was thinking maybe go pair up beside his brother, but maybe he thinks offensively they're a little, defensively, yeah, they're good, but offensively they're not where they need to be. Green Bay, you thought Green Bay, Skip, Wisconsin.
Home state. Yep.
Home state. Aaron Rodgers defensively.
Yep.
So I'm surprised that he's looking at Cleveland as opposed to some of these other teams that I think, but also, Skip, fit 3-4, because J.J. Watt is a 5 technique, which is a 3-4 defense. So that's going to be very important to him as opposed to being bumped outside and playing on a 43 defensive end.
Okay, so to your first point, money talks. In the end, it's just all about
they say money talks, but cash screams.
Yeah.
And he wants lots of it.
Screaming, they got lots of it there. They also have a couple of free agents in that defensive line. Ogunjobi is one, and Olivier Vernon's another one. So they're going to have to figure all that out.
Yeah, one of them, somebody gone.
Somebody is gone.
Both of them might be going if they get J.J. Skip.
Okay, I agree. Okay, why not? Why wouldn't he jump on the opportunity to go to Pittsburgh? Maybe he doesn't want to play in his brother's shadow. Maybe it's like because he.
It sounds good at the time. Everybody like, I'm playing my brother, playing my brother. No, you don't.
But he's a star now, and you're a fading star.
Right.
I don't care what you say. You've been too beat up for too long.
I agree.
And yet, I did tell you your favorite website, Pro Football Focus, dropped him slowly but surely over the last 4 years, but only to 21st best defensive player last year. Well, he used to be 1 or 2.
Yes.
So, okay. But still, 21st in the league is pretty good.
Yeah, he didn't fall off a cliff.
Okay, so he still has enough left to give in a good rotation. Well, he'd be playing alongside of a guy who's pretty great, Myles Garrett, right?
So let me ask you a question, Skip. I mean, he gave you 5 sacks in 16 games last year.
Yep.
What's your expectations this year?
5 or 6, somewhere in there. But I was pleasantly surprised that he sees the Cleveland Browns as a real deal contender.
Right.
I do too. I kept telling you over the back half of the year, last 10 games, Baker Mayfield very quietly, which is not his way, but he very quietly came of age. He arrived. He played high-level quarterback for 10 straight games. I loved the way he played. He finally had something solid around him that he could trust. He had a coordinator and a play caller and a head coach he could trust who tried to do it the right way and in a way that you could depend on from week to week. And they do run the football, as you know, from it's from the Kubiak school of thinking because he was kind of raised by Kubiak.
Yep.
Okay, so he said maybe he's sort of buying into all those progressive Baker commercials, like he's saying, hey, this kid's pretty cool. He's pretty hot.
You know, and the thing is that he's playing alongside Myles Garrett because for the longest time he didn't have. I mean, he had some of his best years when he had Jadeveon Clowney.
He did.
So now you got another guy that's going to get some of the attention, a lot more of the attention that you're going to get. So maybe he gets some more one-on-ones, and that total gets up to maybe 8.
Maybe.
Can he get 8 sacks?
He might be able to if he's just rejuvenated, change of scenery. Listen, that Houston, that's a mentally, psychologically debilitating place to play. Over the last 4 years, it's just gone down into a sinkhole.
Skip, think about this. Of their great players, none of them are going to officially retire. You look at Andre Johnson. He's one of the 5 best players. You look at J.J. Watt, one of the 5 best players. You look at D-Hop, one of the 5 best players. You look at Deshaun Watson.
Nobody's going to retire there. Something's really wrong. And it starts at the top with the McNair family. It has been going the wrong direction.
And I think we all thought J.J. Watt ain't going nowhere. J.J. Watt's going to be a Texan until perpetuity, until he says, hey, you know, I'm taking my cowboy boots and my hats and I'm going to the saloon. He was going to be a Texan. He's like, nah, I'm good.
He's good. And remember, they let him go.
Yes.
Right? And I'm sure they shopped him and couldn't get any takers. So they just said, okay, you can go.
Maybe the asking price was too high. But, Skip, because for the market to be as good as it is for him right now, it's hard to say somebody wouldn't give up at least a 4th-round pick for him.
Yep. I think he's smelling Super Bowl in Cleveland next couple of years. Okay? I'll ride that train.
But are you surprised that Cleveland's at the front of the list? If what the reports that we're hearing are true?
Sure.
I am too.
Shocked because it was never a free agent destination.
Ain't nobody said, man, I can't wait to get to Cleveland.
No.
In what sport have they ever said, man, Cleveland? Baseball, basketball, LeBron, even Go James couldn't lose free agents.
Could not. Agreed.
So.
Okay, can't wait to get to Cleveland. We'll end on that note. Is Tom Brady already recruiting more players to Tampa? A bit easier to welcome guys to Tampa. We'll share the latest next.
No mercy, no mercy, no mercy.
Separate yourself an MVP if you take off and do what you think he is capable of doing. King, you're on. You're on the hot seat, but you're on also a role here where you got a bunch of home games. A lot of these games are at home, but you got like at Minnesota tonight. Should you win that game?
Yes.
You better, but they just won at Toronto. You got the Nets. I don't know if KD's going to play or not. If I know KD, I think he'll try to play in that game. Could be a problem. You've got Miami. I know they're teetering right now. They're back at almost full strength, but they're not playing the way they were in the bubble last year.
But everybody plays the Lakers different.
Okay, they do, and I agree. And Jimmy Butler last night at Clippers went 30, 10, and 10. Good luck. And you know what? He's going to rise and shine against the Lakers, right? You got a Washington team that's won 2 straight and 3 out of 5. They're starting to click because you want to talk about MVP. He's playing for a dog team. Bradley Beal's playing like an MVP, right? And then you go at Utah. They're 23-5. Good luck. And you don't think that crowd, they have one of the biggest home crowds so far. They're letting in about 4,000 a night. Right. And it sounds like they got 40,000 in there, right? Okay. Then you got Portland. They're 16-10. They're a surprise in the West, and they're sitting in the 5th seed. Then you got Golden State. Steph, if he's hot or not, if he's hot, you got trouble because they're sitting in the 8th seed. Then you got Phoenix. Shannon discounts them a little bit, but they're sitting in the 4th seed. They're 17-9, thanks in large part to Chris Paul and a guy who will win an MVP someday, Devin Booker.
Chris, before you go, let me ask you this. Of the guys that you believe are the MVP discussion, whether it's Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, whomever it may be, they've not had a bad stretch of games. Because it seems to me that you only highlighted that LeBron is the only one that's had a bad stretch of games.
He's, according to you, the best player on the planet.
Yes, but Skip, he's human.
The runaway MVP. That's what I keep hearing. Okay, he's the front runner.
Yes, he is. Okay. So, but I'm asking, has anybody else had a bad stretch?
I'm sure they have. The problem, they've had hurt stretches. That's, to Chris's point, by default. Okay, LeBron has an opportunity now without his co-star, a guy that a lot of people thought, including Chris, going into this year would probably have a better year than LeBron.
I was one of those guys. But Chris, he's making it seem like LeBron is averaging 19-5-5, and you got him in the MVP discussion.
Right.
He's 26-8-8.
Okay, but his assists are 2 off last year when he led the league in assists.
Yes.
So he is now shooting a career-high 7 3-point shots a game because I believe he is